college and high school football fans. Well, here we go, y'all. Bowl season rages on, and we have a few more champions to crown, including a much anticipated high school football champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just say this year has not disappointed when it comes to absolutely insane moments and scenarios, because let's just say it's been a doozy. Well, in this past week, it's been a jolly good show, because bowl season, I can tell you right now, disappointments for some teams. For some teams, man, wow, way to show up and play. As for the NAIA, we have crowned a champ, and, well, let's just say that game did not disappoint either. It is that time of year. A beautiful time of year. Christmas time is here. And what kind of gifts is Santa bringing when it comes to bowl season this week? Well, Taryn and I are going to make some more picks and talk about plenty more of these games. And once again, crown more champs. Because that's what we do. You are officially now tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio. Your directory for all that is sports. Yeehaw, baby! That's right. That's how we start the damn show. You already know, when we start with a yeehaw, the show's gonna be pretty damn good. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, partners everywhere, I'm getting real Western now for some reason. I don't know. This is something about that yeehaw, man. Oh, it's authentic. I love it. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to rock and roll. Or strum the banjo and pick some strings, the 6 string. I don't know. We're doing something like that. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is me, your bro Larry B, bringing it to you here live on a beautiful Saturday morning. It is Saturday, December 23rd. Can you believe it, guys? December 23rd. Taryn and I were just live last weekend on August 19th. I mean, at least that's what it felt like. And, well, here we are, several weeks later. And, well, our time is almost up. It's just crazy. But, hey, we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to get on to the end of bowl season. Well, we're in the middle right now. We're good. I'm telling you, it just feels crazy sometimes. It's like, man, it just goes so fast. But with that said, I couldn't do this show without my boy, man, my brother from another mother. Of course, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, the host of Set Point and the SoCal Spring Sports Show. And, of course, co-host here of 3 and Out. Ladies and gentlemen. Wait. Yeehaw! He is Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, Larry B. Thank you for having me on. It's another great day to talk some college football. I'm excited to talk it with you. And bowl season is underway. We've had a lot of barn burners, and we've had a little bit of busts as well.
Taryn, I think I've been on the bus side. I'm sorry. Some of these bowl games, some of these teams I picked, man, I'm like, who are you guys? Like, excuse me, who are you? Like, I mean, what, like, bums did y'all get off the street to play for you guys? Like, what happened? Like, there must have been like 17 players apiece sitting out. Like, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you one bit. But I do know that the teams who won this past week are deserving, man, because it's been a good one. It has really been a good bowl season, I can tell you. And today, we got some really good ones coming up today, of course, in just a couple, actually, in under an hour. We got Troy and Duke in the 76 Birmingham Bowl coming on up, as well as Arkansas State and Northern Illinois playing in the Camilla Bowl. So looking forward to those coming up today. But with that said, Taryn, let's just get on, brother. Let's have some fun here with a little thing we like to call Planet Jerky, because it's delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, big ups to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Yeah. It's so good, y'all. It is the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Oh, it's so delicious. Trust me, guys. You don't get this jerky, that's your fault. You're missing out. All right? That's all there is to it. Join the giveaway, of course. Grab you some Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky at planetjerky.net. Head over to Instagram. Mention that you got Planet Jerky because of this ad that you heard it here, or you saw it on IE Sports Radio, and you'll be entered to win 2 bags of jerky of your choice. Oh, so many delicious flavors. You get your own pick, and well, the rest is history, because you're going to be enjoying Planet Jerky, listening to IE Sports Radio, and watching bowl games. I mean, what? There is no better combination in sports. I'm sorry. So do yourself a favor. PlanetJerky.net today. Show them some love. DM them, please, at Planet Jerky on Instagram. Let them know you heard this ad. Enter the raffle, and you could be chewing on some free jerky pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. So with that said, of course, big ups, as I would say, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. And of course, big ups to all you guys out there, because without you guys, man, IE Sports Radio is not possible. Almost 10 years strong, y'all. I mean, I just, my wife Cecilia's not here right now, so I can hit the yeehaw button all I want to. Oh, yeah, I'm getting the yeehaw down today. By the way, y'all, real quick apologies for the Sports Cup Perspective last night. We got cut off because our internet felt like being a jerk. So we will be back on in just a little bit. Sorry about all that, but the internet seems to be smooth again, thankfully. And yeah, so tune in for the Sports Cup Perspectives with my wife Cecilia and I in a couple hours, and you won't be disappointed. Should be a very fun show. And if our internet wants to agree with us, Taryn and I will have a great show, and Cecilia and I. Internet, looking at you. Anyway, so with that said, Taryn's even looking at you, internet. Okay, anyway, so with that said, Taryn, brother, we have some things, man. First things first, got a big shout out to our boy, man, Mr. Adam Karnick in the chat room says here, good morning, guys. He says, Northern Illinois and Northwestern are ready to celebrate some bowl games today. Adam, I'll tell you, anything is better than Western Illinois, right? That's the Leathernecks, right? That's Western Illinois, right, Taryn? The Leathernecks of Western Illinois that I think went over this year. Didn't they lose every game?
I think so, yeah.
That was.
Let me just confirm.
Yeah, I just, But yes, you are absolutely correct, Adam. Today, of course, he said it's exciting, man. Good old Northwestern, they are playing today versus Utah in that Las Vegas Bowl.
Over.
Yeah, they didn't win anything. Western Illinois, the Leathernecks, ladies and gentlemen, they went over this year. Adam's not amused. But, of course, once again, Northern Illinois, man, that should be a good game versus Arkansas State in just a little bit. Really looking forward to that. So, all right, guys, so to talk about our bowl game disappointments, we're gonna jump into those in a few minutes. But Taryn, bro, this was a week, man. Of course, last week we talked about the Stag Bowl. Talked about an amazing victory for Cortland last week. Just beautiful win for them, winning their first ever national championship over another team out of Illinois, of course, North Central, a D3 powerhouse. And then, Taryn, we got off air last week, and it was the Division II National Championship that was on, within an hour after we were on. And, Taryn, Harding, bro, this was crazy. Crazy, I tell you. Colorado School of Mines goes back for their second year straight. They got the doors blown off them by Ferris State last year. But this year, Ferris State was nowhere to be found. I mean, they were in the tournament. They got eliminated. and it was theirs to lose. They were the new kid on the block this time. They were the one with the national championship experience. And Colorado School of Mines, man, they went out there. They looked strong early, Taryn. They really did. Boy, I'll tell you, though, that game was anything but good. Because as Harding continued to build steam, man, they ran and never looked back. I'll tell you right now, man, that was crazy. I've never seen somebody run that freaking wishbone offense to the T like how they do it. It is like a modified bone defense offense, but it was insane, man. I'll tell you right now, this game was so one-sided. And this kid, Dela Cruz, I hope he gets invited to the damn combine or something. Blake Dela Cruz, this dude ran all over. He ran on Colorado School of Mines like a freaking treadmill. Like, I mean, Taryn, I don't know what else to relate him to. I mean, a treadmill, you're just running on the belt over and over and over. That's basically what he did to these guys. 27 carries for 212 yards, man. I mean, this team obliterated Colorado School of Mines. 38-7, man. Perfect 15-0 record. One of them was going to go 15-0 because they were both 14-0 going into the game. Taryn, Harding wins their first ever national championship. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Their coach got, I don't know if it was a Bible verse or not, but he said something. I mean, he was praising God. He was so happy. The whole team, like, as soon as they won the game, it was a beautiful moment. Harding, man. This little team out of Arkansas, I'll tell you right now, they came to play as the number 2 seed. They came into this game, fought, and got it done, man. And then, to the victory goes the spoil. Colorado School of Mines. Where's the womp, womp, womp? Oh. It just ends the same exact way it did for those guys. Will it be third time's a charm next year? Will they even get back there next year? Taryn, this was crazy, right? I know they're going to lose a lot of talent. They got a huge defensive line. I thought they were going to be able to contain this offense. They just couldn't get it done, dude. They couldn't get it done. Taryn, what do you think, man? Harding, 38-7, wipes the freaking field with Colorado School of Mines, earning their first ever national championship.
Well, the problem with Colorado School of Mines is that they could not stop the run. Harding only passed the ball twice all game, which is just baffling. But once Harding got the run game going, they just did not stop. They had 502 rushing yards on the day, which is just unbelievable. You would think Colorado School of Mines would have had at least some sort of game plan to at least halt the run in at least the second half, but they just had no answer. And then when they got down by a sizable chunk, they had to start throwing the ball, and eventually it just could not work out for them. So I've never seen that happen before. Harding just only throwing the ball twice and having to run the ball practically every time. It's just amazing right there. So 60 plays overall, 58 attempts in terms of running the ball. It's just amazing right there. I don't think I've ever seen that. The only time I think I've seen that is a high school game where every team just runs the ball and they don't even throw it once. So there you have it.
Taryn, it's insane. That what you just told me, right? I didn't even realize they only threw twice. Like, dude, it's crazy. They've run like this modified wishbone, or it's like a flex bone is what they call it. You know, Taryn, I gotta look it up real quick. I was like, wait a minute, I know there's a bone in there somewhere, but it is. Look, I'll tell you right now. I played against this one time, and it was in high school, because you never really see anybody running this in college for sure, Darren. It's an offense that's extremely modified, because this is not this is not a. The only thing that I can relate this to is like Georgia Tech used to run this kind of like a lot. It's like the triple option. And your quarterback is basically a running back too. I mean, you freaking crap, man. You know who would fit perfect back there? Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb. Okay, that's the kind of quarterback you want back. The guy that can throw it, but that can still run better than anything. Okay, or just run. Right now, man, I'll tell you, the perfect. If I could put any quarterback in this system right now, professional, oh, you better believe it's gonna be Lamar Jackson, 100%. Oh, yeah, yeah. He'd be running here, running there. You wouldn't know what to do. Darren, it's insane. And let me just go ahead. I already got it pulled up here, and I just wanted to show it to you. Too bad we weren't on StreamYard. But Darren, take a look at this craziness here. So you have two wings, okay? You got two receivers that are kind of snug. They're maybe 7 yards off the line of scrimmage from the wings, of course, from the tackles. But Darren, it's crazy. You got this running back there that can do serious damage. Any of the wings can actually, they can set them in motion. They can get the ball in any circumstance. You have the quarterback that can keep it. That running back is very dangerous, very potent. And the crazy part about this offense is, Darren, you got dudes who are mobile on the big boys. They're freaking running counter trays. They're running, they're pulling like crazy. Everyone on this offense has to be athletic. Everybody, even the big boys, because everyone's running. Like, it's insane. And they pull this off so well. Their big boys are very conditioned, and you have to buy into this kind of offense, man. You got to believe in this thing, because if you don't, it will get stopped. I'll tell you right now, defense, you just key the hell out of that running back. That's all. Because if the quarterback pulls it, have somebody spy him. But here's the thing. They run it so well. Their offensive line is so quick. They got dudes, man. And Colorado School of Mines had no answer, dude. They had, as you can see, they had no answer.
Yep. Word of advice, hit the sleigh machine in the offseason.
Yeah, please do.
For everyone that plays Harding.
the little team out of Arkansas that could, Taryn. They got it done. Congratulations to them, man. And just what a great victory for them. It was just beautiful seeing them win that thing. And see if School of Mines gets it done next year. So anyway, with that said, Taryn, we got that. And of course, just wow. Let's get into some bowl games real quick, man, with the recap here. Because, dude, what the crap, man? I know right now you're leading me by like 2 or 3 games in bowl season, and that's awesome. I'm just concerned about some of the games that I picked. I'm like, are you serious? Like, were you there? I saw the game, but were you guys there? Was that the actual team? I mean, how many guys sat out? Like, man, but there were some games, like, of course, starting off last week in the famous Toastery Bowl. That was a very good game. Western Kentucky, man, starts this thing off 38. Well, they win this game 38-35 in overtime. But what a way to kick off. Well, that was actually on Monday. I'm so sorry. I just want to get into that game so damn bad. I want to get into the Marshall game, Darren. There's something I really want to talk about in the Marshall game. I cannot wait to get into that. I want to see if you agree with what I heard. But, okay. So, on the 16th, last Saturday, we had the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It was just underway when we got off. And Ohio ends up beating Georgia Southern 41-21. Okay, Darren, I think this was, I don't know. I just feel like Ohio was the better team, and they got it done. I'm an idiot. I think I picked Georgia Southern because I thought they would win this thing, but I really did. But dude, Ohio just went out there and played. They played, and they were winning. It was 20-0 by the half. I mean, it was Georgia Southern played, but in the second half slightly. But dude, the Bobcats, man, it was Bobcats all day. How about that game?
Yeah, and you basically hit it on the head. Ohio jumped out to a 20-0 lead at halftime, and Georgia Southern just did not show up in that first half. It got to the point where Ohio was up 27-0, and Georgia Southern didn't score until midway through the third quarter, which is not an ideal way to win a game. So for Ohio... And also they had 3 interceptions on Georgia Southern. That was also a big thing right there. And they also ran the ball pretty effectively as well. So when you're able to get 3 interceptions, then you're basically doing something right against the other team.
Yeah, man. It was
5 turnovers all forced altogether. Sorry.
Golly, man. Yeah, see, you can't you can't do
4
that,
turnovers,
man.
Victory.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I guess. Wow. Like, yeah. nothing there pointed to anything good freaking ever for these guys. I really thought, Taryn, I thought, but boy was I wrong. So yeah, Georgia Southern, man, they just didn't have it together, but good for Ohio, man. They got this thing done. Next up, man, the Cricket Celebration Bowl. I know we didn't, I think we briefly mentioned this one, but Florida A&M, man, they get this thing done over Howard, 30-26. Really, really, really cool game with some FCS teams or HBCU teams, and 12-1 now on the season. While they finished 12-1, great job, man. They, Taryn, we knew they would blow the doors off. Well, I thought they would blow the doors off of Howard. Howard stuck in there, man. This team. They were only 6-5 entering this game. I thought for a fact that this game would end up really lopsided. But congratulations, man. The Bison, they hung in there. They fought. But, yeah, man, the Rattlers just went off. It was just I don't know. It was a good football game. But when it came down to it, man, I don't know. I kind of just felt like everyone in the back of their mind knew that no matter what happened, the Rattlers were going to win this game somehow, and they did.
Yeah, for Howard, here's the thing. I think everyone picking against them kind of like fueled and motivated them. The only problem is that their quarterback had 3 interceptions, which is not going to get done. On the flip side, Florida A&M had 3 turnovers on the day, 2 of which coming from interceptions. And Howard obviously jumped out to the 16-7 lead, and they eventually led 16-10. And it was the back-and-forth game. Florida A&M finally found their second wind in the second half, and eventually Howard was able to catch its second wind in the fourth quarter. Like, that's where all the scoring came. And then Florida A&M was able to get that go-ahead score and eventually hold off Howard. But I did not expect Howard to Howard is a solid team. And I think everyone who thought that Florida A&M was going to blow the doors off them should be eating a lot of crow, just because of, if you're looking at record, then you're basically you're not basing it off of Howard's true potential. So I got to give Howard a lot of credit for basically staying within striking distance all game.
No, I was one of those people. I thought for sure, like, man, look at that record. Like, dude, the Rattlers are just going to destroy these guys. But no, man, the Bison have a lot of heart. They got it done. They played extremely well. Still came up short, man. 30-26, though. Good job for the Rattlers winning that one. The R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Taryn, this was a fun one. Jacksonville State, Louisiana. Oh, this was a good game. It was so good. We had to get an extra quarter. I mean, it was fun, man. I think went to overtime. Garrison Ripa, man. This guy, pretty good little leg there. 27-yard field goal to end this thing. Taryn, this was a freaking crazy game, man. I'll tell you right now, this dude Wiggins went off. 27 carries for 126 yards, 1 TD. I got to give that guy man. He got down. But overall, man, Jacksonville State winning this game 34-31 last week in the New Orleans Bowl, just in overtime. You know what, man? That's pretty awesome. That is a very good victory over a pretty good football team. It just solidifies, their season. It was an okay season for Jacksonville State, but you know what, man? What a way to stamp a nice bowl game victory and head on into next year. I think that was a very well played game.
Yeah, a very well played game indeed. And I gotta give credit to Louisiana. They only had 247 overall yards. I imagine those yards are just basically offensive yards, and some of their yards were probably either from like turnovers or from like punt returns or kickoff returns. So all in all for Louisiana, they also forced 4 turnovers. So the fact that Jacksonville State won despite having 4 turnovers kind of shows that they're a little bit of a cut above the rest. And for Louisiana to basically stay within striking distance all game shows that they're pretty scrappy for the most part. But if Jacksonville State cuts out their turnovers, this one isn't even close, and there's not even any overtime. So, yeah.
No, you're right, man. I'm just saying, I was just agreeing, man. The turnovers were the name of the game, and Jacksonville State, they came up, man. So, Big ups to our boy Drewski, man, jumping in the chat room here, repping that DFW over there in the heart of Texas sports, man. Big ups to this guy. Thanks for tuning in, brother. We're just running through some bowl game. And of course, here we got Mike Pat. Says, good morning, gents. FSU is now suing the ACC. What a lovely turn of events. I hope the playoff committee is happy with how things are going. Taryn, I said this last week, and I think you were like, whoa. Okay, I had to drag that out a little bit. But Taryn, I think the ACC is going to suffer the same fate as the Pac-12. I just feel like it's going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. If that's the case, then it's hard to believe that when they have lots of schools coming in, like Stanford and Cal and SMU. So I imagine the ACC is going to get bigger, but they're going to probably be losing some key schools like Florida State and maybe a la Clemson, who I think may be applying for the Big 12 or the SEC, which I don't think that would be a good fit for them. I mean, in their years past, I think maybe, but not as of this present day. So,
well, the reason why I feel that way, and I'm not saying it's happened now, but Taryn, the Big 12, for some reason, the Big 12 was dead in the water a couple of years ago. But the Big 12 was like the Big 6 or 7 for a while. But I don't know, man. I just felt like the Pac-12 was torn apart. The SEC is the hot ticket. You already know that's where everyone really truly wants to be. You know, even if they're Washington, nowhere near the Southeast. But you know, we don't care about geography nowadays. You know. Anyway, but you know, because Stanford is in the Atlantic Coast Conference. That's a knee slapper right there. But Taryn, I don't know, man. I just feel like the ACC is going to fall apart, man. I just, once again, everyone wants to go to the Big Ten is like the Big 55 now. You know, screw it. Everyone wants to be. So, I mean, you know, and then, you know, not to sidetrack too much here, but Chip Kelly said it so well last week. Remember, you know, talking about like we just need to let football be football and let the other schools play in the divisions and just make football its own thing with like its own super conference type deal where it's just a big tournament basically. I mean, why not, man? Because it's true. We need to stop this, man. I mean, how much fuel is that going to be when they're playing softball 2-3 times a week or basketball 2-3 times a week and they're playing now? You got UCLA and SC freaking traveling all the way to the Midwest, and do you think that's good for grades? Do you think that's good for these students doing all these assignments? I mean, dude, like this is crap, man. Like, so I don't know. I just have this big feeling, dude. I don't know. The ACC is gonna fall apart eventually. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not wishing it, but the Pac-12 is officially done. You know, I mean, it's so sad because Oregon State is a beautiful, thriving program, Taryn. Oregon State is amazing. Oregon baseball national champions a couple years ago. I mean, they've done it. They've done it before that too. I mean, this team has some. You know, their football team is ranked now. They've been ranked. They've been in and around that top 25. I mean, the basketball program has gone. I mean, dude, there is a lot there, man. But they're like gonna, who knows? They're gonna lose like a lot of potential, a lot of talent because, well, what the hell are they gonna do now? They're gonna join the Mountain West and become like a second-rate program. I hate to say it, but so I don't know, man. I just you know, I just feel like the ACC is just they're the next one to go, dude, and it's gonna eventually just be the Big Ten. The Big Ten and the SEC, and everyone's just going to say, to hell with this. This is stupid. Let's just remember that old guy, Chip Kelly, all those years ago? Yeah, let's just do what he wants to. I mean, Taryn, I don't know, dude. Like, is it fair for me to say all of this? Do you see it too? Because the chat room is bumping right now, man. I mean, what are your comments on that, though, real fast?
Yeah, I mean, well, with what happened with Florida State, I totally understand that they have every right to be frustrated, and they have a right to basically lash out against the committee and whatnot and basically try to grow their brand. But I just don't know if this is going to work out for them. I think they should really stand pat, in my opinion, because do you really want to be a small fish in a big pond, or do you want to be a big fish in a little pond? Because if you go big, then you're basically setting yourself up to basically being eaten alive by the sharks. We'll see.
No, you're right. You're right, Aaron. And big ups to Mo, man, in the chat room tuning in, man. I appreciate you both being in the chat room. But no, man, I just I get really, really, really irritated thinking about this crap, in the chat room, man. Let's get up into this chat because wow, there's a lot. Mike Pat says that let's take a look here. He says okay, Drewski says just the first steps for FSU to leave the ACC. They will leave by 2027. Mike Pat responds, actually, Drewski, one of the stipulations of the lawsuit would be FSU's immediate departure from the conference. Also, the ACC will suffer the same fate as the Pac-12 if FSU wins the lawsuit. There are a couple of components that if they went in FSU's favor, it would open the doors for others to leave, and I just really feel like that's going to happen. Mo agrees. He says yes. And Drewski says here, I agree with Chip. Football should be independent from all collegiate sports. It's funny because here we are talking crap about Notre Dame for so long, like independent. But it's kind of funny because it's like, wait a minute, did they have it right all along? Did they really have it right? Like, whoa, like I mean, of course they didn't because they're stupid. They should join a conference because that's how they get always singled out and left out of the playoffs and everything. But I'm just saying, Taryn, I mean, you're right. Okay, and I do want to, give you, I do want to recognize what you said for sure about. Do they really want this? Because they're just one school going up against a major conference. I get that. I guess I can somewhat relate this. Remember the extremely horrible, stupid. Taryn, there's no way to describe how terrible that freaking pass interference Rams and Saints, remember, in the playoffs? Do you remember the blatant pass interference? I forgot who the hell was it, but the freaking dude hit the receiver while the ball was still in the air. He hit him, and they didn't call it pass interference. Remember that? And the Rams ended up winning.
Oh yeah,
or it was the Vikings. It was not the. It was
no. It was Saints Rams, and as the Rams went on to the Super Bowl, I think it was like something bunting, and then Sean Payton just went off in the saying it was helmet to helmet as well.
Yeah, but do you remember, like, dude, the entire city of New Orleans was circulating a petition to replay the game. I mean, but it wasn't going to happen. It just was. Even the referees were like, yeah, we screwed up. It wasn't going to happen. And unfortunately, so I don't know, Taryn, do you place that in this category, or do you think FSU actually has a chance to really, like make some things happen here? Like, what do you think?
I mean, at this point, without their starting quarterback, I just don't see that they would put up a fight against Michigan. I mean, truthfully, and we would like to see them in the college football playoff. In reality, they deserve to be in the college football playoff. But the committee thinks that they want the 4 best teams in the college football playoff. So yes, we got to feel bad for Florida State, but we also have to look at the big picture of would they really put up a fight against Michigan? Would they hang tough with Michigan as opposed to Alabama, who upset the reigning champion, Georgia, and the pretty much consensus number 1 Georgia overall?
No, and you got valid points there, Taryn. So, look, man, I don't know. Mike Pat says it's a whole mess, and it will probably last all of 2024, if not into 2025. And then he says, "Thank you for coming to my TED Talk." Good old Mike Pat, man, the host of Let's Whine About DMV Sports here on IA Sports Radio, did a great show last night. But yeah, Taryn, this whole thing is a mess. And once again, there's only one way to solve this. They talk about a 12-team bracket. Can we just get? I mean, I think the FCS has like a 12. Well, it's 16, I think. But look, can we just get the bracket You know what I mean? And just cut it. Just cut it with all the crap. We're going to that format next year. But this year was absolute nonsense. I mean, I don't know. I still think FSU should have got in regardless. Anyway, is what it is. And there it is. So, moving on, Taryn, let's go ahead and roll through the rest of these bowl games that we're checking out this weekend, man. We got so much more to get into. The NAIA championship on Monday. We have a high school champion to crown. Oh, there's so much to get into, brother. So let's go ahead and move forward, man. Appalachian State defeating Miami of Ohio 13-9 in the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Taryn, that was a great defensive battle. I loved that game. It was a great football game.
Yeah, it reminds me of Pitt versus Virginia, West Virginia, all the way back in the old days.
Yeah.
But, yeah, 13-9 was that final score in favor of Pitt. But App State, I tried to tell y'all about Sunbelt Funbelt. App State, they're much better than most people give them credit for, and there's a reason why they were in the championship of the Sunbelt Conference finals. And honestly, I didn't expect this type of score, but I also didn't expect Miami to basically throw the ball only 10 times. It must have been just that type of game. So, meanwhile, for App State, they had a little bit more of a balanced attack, whereas, like I said, Miami, it was just that type of game for them. They just passed the ball more than they threw it. And turnovers, it was just turnovers aplenty. Like, all these bowl games seem to have a running theme, lots of turnovers. And the big thing was fumbles. There were 5 turnovers from fumbles from both of these teams. 5 out of the 6 turnovers were from fumbles. So the fact that App State was able to outlast Miami in one of the more uglier games was probably a miracle beyond miracles. And I think this might be the best bowl game of that Saturday, of course. Maybe the Jacksonville State Louisiana one is probably a close second.
Well, they were both damn good games, but Fresno State slaps the taste out of New Mexico State's mouth. It is the what is it, Islita? I don't know, but the New Mexico Bowl, and you are New Mexico State, Aggies. This is your bowl to win. Anyway, Fresno State had other ideas, had other plans, and, well, they showed those plans on the field. 37-10, Fresno State just kind of, smacked around New Mexico State like they stole something. I don't know. It was pretty one-sided. Taryn, Fresno State just obliterates the Aggies.
I have no idea what happened in that game. Fresno State was reeling from their last 4 games in conference play, and they just looked like a whole different team. They looked like the team that actually was supposed to be the team that wins the conference, but I just don't know what happened with New Mexico State. It just looked so ugly on their end. And the thing is that Fresno State turned the ball over more times than New Mexico State did. New Mexico State only had 1 turnover, but the problem is that Fresno State had double and a half overall offensive yards than New Mexico State did, which is really sad if you ask me. So when you're only putting up 200 offensive yards compared to Fresno State's 500, you're not doing anything right.
At all. Like, 100% at all. UCLA, Taryn! You talked about this yesterday, man. It was a great show yesterday on the SoCal Swing Sports Show. I'll tell you, man. I love it, man. Dum Dum of the week and all. Taryn had 2 yesterday. Good old Taryn. But it was a fun show. But Taryn, UCLA, they got it done. They beat Boise 35-22 in the Starco Brands LA Bowl. Taryn, UCLA had it. They had it, and Boise State didn't. It was just one of those games. It was a very good football game. I enjoyed this thing, but how about this, man? Give us a little snippet of what you gave the listeners yesterday on SoCal.
Well, I hate to really knock this guy, but I don't think Cullen Schlee was the guy for quarterback. I think Ethan Garbers is the guy at quarterback for UCLA, and I give Colin Schley a lot of credit. He led UCLA in rushing yards with 127, but then he eventually got knocked out of the game. So Ethan Garbers, who was basically 50-50 on playing the game, he was actually slated to start the game, but he said he didn't feel good. So Chip Kelly went with Colin Schley to start the game at quarterback. He had to start, but now Ethan Garbers had to come in, and he basically stole the show as UCLA was down 16-7, and then 28 unanswered points later, UCLA basically just turned the tide and then some. So I give a lot of credit to UCLA. I knew they were going to win just because you're not going to lose to a freshman quarterback and to a team whose starting quarterback entered the transfer portal. So it's a big win for UCLA, as I think that's their first bowl game win since 2016. And hopefully it's something in the start of it's something that UCLA will be heading into the right direction for, especially when they enter the Big Ten. I think it's definitely doable for them, and hopefully more recruits go to UCLA, because when I saw their 4 and 5 star recruits from their class of 2024, according to Super West Sports on X, formerly known as Twitter, they only had 3, 4, 5 star commits, but maybe they'll have that diamond in the rough, kind of like Ethan Garbers. Maybe he's that diamond in the rough quarterback, as opposed to some of these other quarterbacks that are like 4 or 5 stars. And maybe now that UCLA has that clarity of who's their quarterback, they're not going to have this quarterback carousel of Dante Moore and Colin Schley and Ethan Garbers. I think they just got to roll with Ethan Garbers, and he is back for next year.
And that is awesome, man. Big one there for UCLA. And we finished the night with the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. And Taryn, what the hell, man? I called Cal the Texas Tech of the Pac-12, and I called Texas Tech the Cal of the Big 12. Taryn, what the crap? I seriously 100,000,000% thought that this was going to be a good, fun, barn burner game. No, where's my buzzer effect over here? And I was wrong. Yeah, that was about as wrong as I could get, because this is what the hell? This was crazy, man. Morton, this dude went off throwing for 3 TDs. I mean, he threw for 256 yards. I mean, dude, I don't know, man. Mendoza throwing 3 picks over here. This was just a wow. Once again, I thought this game was going to be good. It was anything but good. Texas Tech smacks around Cal 34-14. Oh, just that was ugly, man. Ugly game to end off bowl season, or the first day of bowl season. Great victory for the Red Raiders. Nothing against them. It's just, wow, I really thought Cal had more in them, and boy, was I wrong.
I think Texas Tech did a really good job of limiting Jaden Ott. They held him to only 45 rushing yards, and when you're doing that, you're basically taking away Cal's best option. And I feel Cal just stopped showing up after that first quarter. It's like after the first day of school or the first quarter of the semester, you just stop showing up. It's because you feel a class is boring. And Texas Tech just really surged from there. And the big thing is that Cal was just not ready, and they were not prepared to see their running back get taken away in terms of their option, as their quarterback threw 3 interceptions, which is unfortunate just because, well, you just can't have that in a game. And they had 4 turnovers overall, so that just basically adds to the pot of turnover city.
Darren, it was ugly. It was just ugly. Nothing there was good for this team. They absolutely fell apart. Cal just looked like they didn't even want to be there after the first quarter, man. I don't know. That was a game where I want to repick that game. Wow, that game sucked for them. But once again, great game for the Red Raiders, man. These guys, they came out. They came ready to play.
I think you picked Texas Tech,
Did I pick Texas Tech? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you picked Texas Tech. Okay. Because some Raiders have to be good.
Because some Raiders have to be good, Taryn. Exactly. Because some Raiders have to be good. Yeah. Yes, that's the That's the MO. So, Taryn, on to Monday, December 16th. Western Kentucky, Old Dominion. This was an overtime game in the famous History Bowl. I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed this game from start to finish because Old Dominion came out, man. Old Dominion came out. They were balling, man. They led this damn game 28-0 at one point. It was crazy, man. The first quarter and a little bit of the second, it all belonged to the Monarchs, man. These guys came out and were balling. And then, like, the middle of the game, the little toss-up here and there. And then the fourth quarter, wow. The Hilltoppers came out, man. Like, these guys, they would force overtime. Amazing. At the 19 seconds to go, Caden Beltcamp will hit Katie Hutchinson for a 15-yard pass into the end zone. Lucas, what's his name? Canero, I believe, will hit the extra point. Dude, it's 35-35 now. 19 seconds to go in this game. And then what happens? Lucas comes up big in overtime, 29-yard field goal. Dude, how about it, man? The Hilltoppers get this victory. That was a damn good game.
I feel bad for Old Dominion because you want to know what this game reminded me of? The Chargers Jaguars wild card game from last year.
Oh, he didn't do that.
Yeah, I saw that game. When I saw that Old Dominion was up 28-0, I'm like, oh, please don't. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be the biggest shocker of all. And then when I see that Western Kentucky was on its way to clawing itself back, I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be Chargers Jaguars part 2 in terms of college? And then eventually Western Kentucky completed the comeback. I don't know if that's the biggest comeback in bowl game history, but I feel a little better as a Chargers fan after seeing that collapse from last year. Because now, no, nothing against Old Dominion. They did everything they could possible to try to win that game. But unfortunately, Western Kentucky just straight up hit the gas in the second half. And the thing is that Western Kentucky, this was exactly like the Chargers-Jaguars game. Because Western Kentucky, 5 turnovers.
Oh,
I know Old Dominion had 1 turnover as opposed to the Chargers not having any. But when you're forcing 5 turnovers, you would think you'd be winning that game. And if you're jumping out to a 28-point lead, you would think you'd be winning that game. But Western Kentucky shifted it into high gear as you mentioned. Caden Veltkamp, he turned into Trevor Lawrence, Clemson Trevor Lawrence, mind you, in the second half following that 28-0 deficit. And he basically just led the team to the comeback. And it's funny because I think that Western Kentucky just abandoned the run knowing that they were down and they knew time was precious and they just diced up that Old Dominion pass defense. And I don't know how Old Dominion just does not prevent that pass defense. So for me, I think Old Dominion, nothing against them. And Grant Wilson is a phenomenal quarterback. I thought he did great, but unfortunately the defense just let them down, and I feel horrible for them. But at the same time, you should have learned from Chargers, Jaguars.
You should have, and they didn't, and it was horrible. You are absolutely correct, Aaron. What the crap, man? That was. I love how you just went all out. I love that. That was a great analogy with good old Chargers, man. 100%. But I
brought back bad memories.
Yeah, right? I mean, not analogy, comparison. Wow. But yeah, dude, that was just really good there. But yeah, man, Western Kentucky got this thing done. Great game for them. Taryn, we're on to the game that I've been itching to talk about, and this is on Tuesday. Now, I get it. This has probably happened a lot, but this one I actually heard it. Okay. First things first, let's get this out of the way. UTSA, wonderful season for the Roadrunners. 9-4. They win their first ever freaking bowl game. Ever. They've never won a bowl game, Taryn, in their whole history. They won their first ever bowl game. Marshall. They've actually got a winning record in all of their bowl games ever played. And they were trying to continue that. I gotta say a couple things. Number one thing, Cole Pennington seriously looks just like his dad, Chad Pennington. Like, out there. It's incredible how much he plays like him, and it's awesome. But, Taryn, there's a dude from Marshall. He's a junior. by way of Cleveland, Ohio, named Rasheen Ali. And Ali is, I believe, entering the draft. Taryn, what the hell? His coaches, I heard from the announcers that it was his coach's decision. That they were going to limit him and limit his carries because he didn't necessarily want to not play the game to sit it out, but he also, the concern is, of course, not getting hurt, not getting injured in a meaningless game, as a lot of guys would say. That's why they, don't play bowl games. But Taryn, what the hell, man? Wow, seriously, like one of the announcers said, that doesn't make any sense. Either you play or you don't, and that should be the player's decision. You play or you don't. Don't go out there and give us half. Don't give us half. Don't try to make everyone happy. It's either you're going to play or you're not, because it's true. They needed him. Marshall probably could have won that game had Ali played the entire thing, but they shut him down in the second half, I want to say, or in maybe the fourth quarter. He still led with only 9 carries for 92 yards, which is amazing, with 1 touchdown. Dude, seriously? What do you think? And I don't know how many other games this has happened in. But of course, once again, and I don't know. It could be Marshall's victory. I don't know. But what I will say here is, what do you feel about that?
Well, my thing is, it's just so tough to really. That's really baffling, if you ask me. And that's kind of your best weapon, because the past game, it was okay, but it wasn't great. I mean, I can't believe I forgot that Chad Pennington was a thing, and then that was his son. Whoa! Now I feel kind of old.
Yeah, you and me both.
For UTSA, they just had a balanced attack overall. Yes, their rushing attack wasn't as great as Marshall's. Okay, well, in terms of yards, but negative 30 yards was courtesy of Pennington probably getting sacked. So overall for UTSA, I just think I want to give them the credit because they shut out Marshall in the second half. But Marshall, if they're going to play Ali, then they have to have their best weapon, because he's the most effective weapon on the team, and he's what's driving the team. And I agree. You either play or you don't. You don't give us half. Unless you're injured, of course, or you're being held out by trainers. That's the only other exception I know. And UTSA had 3 turnovers, so I'm surprised Marshall didn't at least make this a little bit closer.
Agreed, Aaron. And I just don't get it. I don't like the decision. I was so with the announcers. I mean, if it was a coach's decision, then what are you doing, coaches? For real, I get it. Oh, this young man's going to go and he don't need to be hurt in a meaningless game. Then why did you dress him? Because if you thought he was going to get hurt in the 9 carries that he carried the freaking ball, then he could have gotten hurt in any of those carries. I just, it's either he plays or he doesn't play. It is not a crime to sit out the game. Okay, but at the same exact time, that was, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that was really dumb. But anyway, whatever. All the best to Ali going forward in the draft. The young man is definitely a great player, and let's see what he does. Hopefully he goes into the league and does his thing. But congratulations to UTSA, man, once again winning their first ever bowl game, winning the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl 35-17 on Tuesday, December 19th. So we didn't have any bowl games on Wednesday. That was kind of weird. I just was itching on Wednesday to watch a bowl game, and it wasn't on, and it was weird. But Taryn, on the 21st, on Thursday night, there was a bowl game. And the funny thing is, Taryn, is after the first 15 minutes, I forgot there was a bowl game. I got a little wrapped up in Thursday Night Football. But boy, usually, Taryn, when there's a game during an NFL game, a bowl game, you're trying to pay attention to it. You're like, yeah, no, I'm going to enjoy it. Taryn, the Thursday Night Football stole the show, because this was this wasn't even a football game. This was a gosh damn scrimmage. Like, I don't know what this was. This was South Florida, man. USF, the Bulls, they done beat they beat this team. Syracuse didn't even show up, man. It's like, did they get off the plane? The roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. Dude, what in the crap? This game wasn't even a game. This was when JV scrimmages varsity, and in JV JV is just really bad and varsity is really good. I mean, I don't know what else to compare this to, but this was really jacked up. Syracuse, man. Syracuse got jacked up. 45-0. South Florida wins this game fairly easily, Taryn, and yeah.
Yes. For USF, well, let's go over what they did correct. They had 407 overall offensive yards, which is way more than what Syracuse had. They held Syracuse to only 159 over offensive yards. USF also forced 4 turnovers and only turned the ball over once. Despite having 84 yards of penalties on 9 penalties altogether, USF just basically made the most of their opportunities. I just felt like Syracuse treated offense and scoring like plague. It just made no sense. And USF set the tone in the first quarter when they had a 64-yard fumble return touchdown. It just made no sense. They had 2 fumble return touchdowns. So for USF, they just really came out ready to go, and they made our pick for Syracuse look super silly. It just made 0 sense. I just couldn't believe it. I really wanted to pick USF, but unfortunately, Syracuse looked so tempting.
Taryn, that was one of the dumbest picks I ever made in my life.
Yeah, when I saw the score at that, I'm like, oh no. And then I just chucked it up at a loss when it came to the fourth quarter.
It was kind of funny, Taryn, because I was like, hey, I just happened to ask you during that game, hey, Taryn, did you get our picks for this week? And you were like, yeah, man. You were like, I'm leading whatever. And you're like, it's safe to say this game's over. It was like the second quarter. You're like, it's safe to say this game's over. Like, maybe it was later in the game.
Yeah, I think it was like fourth quarter, and Syracuse was down 45 thing.
It was so bad. It was funny. Okay, it wasn't really that funny, but it wasn't really funny at all. I feel bad for these guys, but man, this team was just that was an ugly game, ugly game, and well, there you go. So I don't know, man. So we're gonna move forward, bro, and go to Friday night's game, man. And of course, we got to talk about the NAIA championship that was on Monday, briefly. But Taryn, Friday, of course, yesterday's game, Georgia Tech, man. This was a pretty cool game. What the hell? I mean, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. UCF. Look, man. This was a ball game at the half. 17-17. And it was still a pretty good ending, but UCF did nothing in the second half, Derek. They did nothing. Like, absolutely 100%. I'm not going to do anything type of crap game. Like, they did nothing in that second half, and it was just pitiful. 30-17. Congratulations to Georgia Tech winning a great game there, but boy, UCF just looked horrible in the second half, and congratulations to the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, the whole thing started out when UCF went up 17-3. I was seeing this game and I'm thinking, okay, well, UCF looks promising. And then UCF just stops showing up remember how you and I were talking about the Division II final or the Division III final with Harding and Colorado School of Mines, and how Harding basically ran the ball all but 2 times in that game.
Yes,
And you
sir.
talked about how Georgia Tech was basically did that. Georgia Tech basically had that formula for success in terms of beating UCF. They ran the ball more often than not, and honestly, it worked. And I don't understand how UCF is able to jump out to a 17-3 lead, 14-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and they fail to put up another touchdown. They only put up 3 points after that 14-0 lead. It just does not make any sense. And I know UCF had 2 turnovers, but they only had 1 more turnover than Georgia Tech did. So, and they out yarded Georgia Tech 424 to 371. So it just makes no sense whatsoever. So for UCF, I'm just baffled at this loss. But Georgia Tech, they deserve a little bit of credit. Remember, they did take down Miami in that debacle of a game where Mario Cristobal decided to not kneel the ball and get his player fumbled.
Which leads me to a very important question. This has been the most important question of every single show that we have had this year, Taryn. And that question goes a little something like this. Taryn, is the U back?
Nope. Nope.
I'm having a field day with the sound effects. I'm sorry. But yes, or no, for that matter, the U is not back. Anyway, I guess I had to do that. Anyway, Darren, work is getting underway, by the way. Both the Birmingham Bowl between Troy and Duke and the Camilla Bowl between Arkansas State and Northern Illinois are both underway. Yeah, Drewski jumps in the chat room and says it was a complete blowout for USF. Yeah, that was a couple days ago, but yeah, bro, these games were crazy. UCF, yeah, unfortunately USF and UCF didn't have the same kind of game. UCF thought they were USF for a little bit, but let's just say if it was the other way around, Syracuse came back and smacked around UCF. Well, that's not what happened here, because Georgia Tech did come back and make it happen for them. So yeah, man, it was crazy. This has been, oh my gosh, this has been fun. So there is bowl season, man, and it was for the first week at least. And man, this was a crazy week, man. I really thought I had some of these games pegged, and boy, was I wrong. Drewski says, to be fair, Syracuse didn't have their starting quarterback and going through a coaching change. Yes, I get it. But,
okay.
But
where's Rocky Long?
Yeah, where's Rocky at, man? We miss him at San Diego State. But
if they're not going to utilize Rocky Long to their full potential, then bring him back to San Diego State.
Please come back, Rocky. Please come back. We'll give you $1. Just kidding. I don't have much more than that. But no, Rocky's the man. I've always been a fan of his. But Taryn, on Monday we have two champions crowned. But Monday we have here the NAIA National Championship, and Taryn, they did it. The Seahawks did it. They did it, man. The Kaiser Seahawks win their first ever national championship in program history, defeating the Red Raiders of Northwestern College. Because Taryn, usually this is where I plug because some Raiders have to be good, but Taryn, even on this day, the Raiders were not good. And that can go to the Purple Raiders of Mount Union losing this year. I'm sorry, because sometimes, these Raiders. But anyway, Drewski says here they are getting the quarterback from Ohio State next year at least. Oh, well, that's a consolation prize. But, okay, Sam. So NAIA.org here. I'll go ahead and read this, man. It was awesome. So let me go ahead and roll on into this. I'll try to make this quick. So it says here, Durham, North Carolina. So Kaiser, Florida, used a dominating run game and a stifling defense to claim its first NAIA Championship Series title, ending a 27-game win streak by Northwestern out of Iowa. The Seahawks amazed 373 yards on the ground, led by outstanding player Jaden, I believe it's Mazinger's 261 on 22 carries. That's amazing. With a touchdown and a 31-21 win over the Red Raiders. Mazinger broke loose for a 75-yard touchdown run up the middle on the first play from scrimmage. I actually got to see that on NAIA ball, of course, football, on his Twitter account. That was pretty cool. Big ups to him. And Aaron. It says that he broke for that on the first play from scrimmage, and that set the tone for Kaiser. Nico Cavanias pushed the lead to 10 with 7 left in the second, with a 31-yard field goal at the end of the 9-play, 66-yard drive that ate up over 66 minutes of the quarter, with 41 yards coming on 7 running plays. That's crazy. Quote here says, "We worked so hard, and I really can't explain it," said Mazinger. "We're just a bunch of underdogs and are really resistant." The Seahawks defense added a takeaway at the 6:15 mark of the second with a strip sack of Jalen Gramstead at the 14-yard line, which was punched into the end zone by Andrew Burnett 4 plays later. Oh, these kids have done such a great job, said Coach Doug Socha. "We have a saying, ride the wave, and they did it through all the momentum. Swings." Gramstead and the Red Raiders took advantage of a Kyler Fritz interception at the Kaiser 45 with a 1:43 left in the second quarter, with a 6-play drive that ended with a 6-yard touchdown pass to Austin Gerard with 29 seconds left in the half. Northwestern was held to 26 rushing yards, gained on 14 attempts in the first half, which netted negative 13 yards due to sacks. That's crazy. An offense that racked up the most first down in the NAIA in this season was held to just 8 in the first half and 118 total yards, with over a third coming on the final drive. Clayton Bosama came away with an interception in the end zone on Kaiser's first possession in the second half, and the Red Raiders followed it up with their biggest play of the game, a 39-yard completion from Gramstead to Michael Story. The drive didn't result in points, but Eli Statter's 38-yard punt was down at the Kaiser 1-yard line. So Story had a game high of 121 receiving yards on 6 catches. Mazinger got the Seahawks out of the shadow of their own goalpost with a 53-yard run on first down. 4 plays later, it was Justin Wake making his first start at quarterback. Wow. Finding Mauricio Porcia for a 30-yard touchdown to go up 24-7 with 5:17 left in the third. As you can see, Taryn, the Seahawks were motivated, man. They were moving. Wake finished 10 of 15. Crazy. He didn't even throw the ball very much. For 117 yards. Portia was the top receiver with 45 yards on 2 catches. The Red Raiders attempted to rally in the final frame of Gramstad's second touchdown of the game. A 53-yard strike to Connor McQuillan with 10:54 left to make it 24-14 with 10:54 left. It says the Red Raiders then recovered an onside kick, and 7 plays later, McQuillan scored from 2 yards out to get within a field goal with 7:06 left. Kaiser ended the thoughts of a Northwestern comeback with a 77-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Louis Lubin III. Lubin III also had an interception in the end zone at the 5:02 mark of the final frame to help secure the win. Gramstead was 15 of 34 through the air for 287 yards and was the leading rusher for Northwestern with 47 yards, but was sacked 4 times. Our guys didn't flinch. Our coaches did a great job, but most important, our players stayed calm and found a way, said Socha. Maddox April, I believe, Aprile, I believe it was Aprile maybe, was the most outstanding defensive player with a solo sack and 2 assisted sacks among his 6 stops. Taryn, how about this, man? How about that? Congratulations to the Kaiser Seahawks. First ever national championship. Taryn, they were on this thing from the first play, man.
I was definitely impressed by Kaiser. They really came out swinging. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that they would have beaten Northwestern just because Northwestern is the juggernaut when it comes to the NAIA. But Kaiser was able to basically strut its stuff and show that it belongs in the championship, and it is a champion. So I give them a lot of credit, and all I gotta say is we're eating a lot of crow because I think we both picked Northwestern.
Yeah. Actually, no, Taryn, this is one that I know for a fact. I actually picked the Seahawks in this game.
Oh, never mind. So. I'm probably the one that's eating crow.
I guess, Taryn, I just thought they were going to win it. I just had this feeling. I don't know. It was crazy. By the way, I just got to mention, in the FCS playoffs, of course, we know last week, South Dakota State defeated Albany 59-0. And yes, Taryn, on that Saturday night, Montana, freaking Montana, defeated North Dakota State 31-29. Taryn, North Dakota State was a team this year who fell off multiple times. We thought they were crap. We thought that this was just going to end up in a horrible season for them. Taryn, they fought back. They regrouped. They were able to come back all the way to the semifinals, and damn it, they almost beat the Grizzlies of Montana. Taryn, this is one resilient team, man. These Bison are not... they do not go away. And that was crazy. But yes, the national championship is set and ready to go. North Dakota State taking on Montana on the 7th, January 7th. Actually, a pretty touching story that Cecilia and I are going to talk about for this game in a little bit. Can't spoil it, but it's not really has to do with football, but it's pretty cool. You'll see in a little bit. But Taryn, South Dakota State, Montana. What do you think, man? I mean, early pick maybe early thoughts, maybe thoughts on the Montana-North Dakota State game. I mean, what do you think, Taryn?
Well, I will say this. I did not have South Dakota State blowing out Albany like that. And I will say I picked North Dakota State to win, and they gave it their all, but Montana State just had a little bit more in the tank to basically outlast them. And it just goes to show that there's resilience when it comes to the Grizzlies and whatnot. And they're having a fantastic season. And North Dakota State just could not get that 2-point conversion. And that's kind of the beauty, and it's kind of the ugly of double overtime. Because once you go to double overtime, you have to get that 2-point conversion. Because if not, then it basically goes down to 2-point conversions altogether. And for Montana, they just had a little bit more oomph in them. So great job to the Grizzlies, and I'm sorry for picking against you. And unfortunately, we will not be getting North Dakota State versus South Dakota State. It's going to be South Dakota State versus Montana.
And you know what? That's going to be a pretty good football game. I'm looking forward to that. Both these teams are really, I don't know, man. They're poised. I'm excited. I want to see a good football game between these two, man. But we got some bowl games to pick, Taryn. We got one more champion to crown. And this I kind of wanted to save till the end. But Taryn, the high school national champion was crowned this week. And well, this is hard. It is so hard. But I gotta tell you, before anything, a congrats is always deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 high school Max Preps national champions, the Bishop Gorman Gales, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Taryn, this was something that we built up for weeks. High school is just all jacked up. Let's just be real. High school is all jacked up. It is jacked up. There's no playoff, which we don't need to be, but there's no national championship game, 1 versus 2 or anything like that. somebody would get snubbed anyway because, of course, Chaminade-Madonna was, I don't know, that was also a factor. We had Mater Dei up there. I mean, Taryn, and then, of course, Kale Henderson touched on this on his show, too. Taryn, Bishop Gorman, they got it done. Congratulations to them. It was a good season. Undefeated, 12-0. That was their fourth national championship. First one since 2016. But once again, man, this is a toughie because, remember, they played only 4 top 100 teams that finished in top 100. Chaminade-Madonna also played 4. But Mater Dei played 11. They lost to one of those teams, and of course, it's going to be St. John Bosco, who was top 5 at the time. In Taryn, they would freaking blow out St. John Bosco the next time they saw them in the playoffs. They blew out Sarah in the state game for California. I mean, Taryn, I get it. The committee didn't want to, step all over Bishop Gorman and is trying to compare apples and oranges sometime, even though, I don't know. I mean, I think that would have been a hell of a game, Mater Dei and Bishop Gorman, and I hope we get that game soon in the coming years. But Taryn, and of course, Chaminade-Madonna, throw them in there somewhere, but Taryn, do you feel that the Max Preps committee made the right decision?
Well, here's the thing. Max Preps and High School Football of America have 2 totally different national champions.
Yeah.
Max Preps has Bishop Gorman, and then High School Football of America has Mater Dei winning the national championship. And it's their 4th high school national championship from High School Football of America since 2017. So this goes to show that there really should be a high school football national championship. And maybe Max Prep should host that at maybe AT&T Stadium or some big site that's going to draw a bunch of high school football fans from all over the world. Or college football fans or college football scouts. So all in all, it's so tough to say if they made the right call. On one hand, yes, because Bishop Gorman did go undefeated, but on the other hand, Mater Dei just has the better body of work altogether in terms of strength of schedule. So it's basically depends on the perspective of who you think is who is more valid in terms of Max Preps versus High School Football of America. And Max Preps is already they've been around for more than 19 years, whereas High School Football of America has been celebrating 19 years of being around, which, I mean, it's no knock on them, but it is what it is. I think Max Preps has been around since 2004, 2004, and that's pretty much 19 years already, if not close to 20 years. So there you have it. For me, I think there's no clear-cut answer. I think both are deserving of national champions. I think if there was one more week, we would love to see Bishop Gorman and Mater Dei strap on the pads and face one another.
I agree with Aaron. And yeah, high school football, that's cool. I didn't even know there was a sanctioning body out there, or people who give titles or whatever you want to call them. But Taryn agreed. Congratulations to Bishop Gorman. It's hard. I thought Mater Dei won the title when you compare the strength of schedule and everything. But at the end of the day, congratulations to Bishop Gorman. They did it, of course, to the other sanctioning body. You said High School of America?
High School Football of America.
High School Football of America. Well, good for them. Good for Mater Dei winning at least in their sanctioning body. But yeah, man, I they're both credited. They're both awesome. Sure, Max Preps and High School Football of America. But it's I don't know, man. It's just crazy. This is hard to place Bishop. I know that's not really Bishop Gorman's. It's not really there. I feel bad for them because it's like, dude, what can they do? What can they really do? What can Bishop Gorman really do? Think about it. They played all the games that they could. They scheduled all the toughest games they possibly could. They can't really help it if their state doesn't really have too many top schools, and they can't really help it if their state playoff is just so short, and it has a lot of those same schools they already played in it. They can't really help that. So I get it. I get it. I totally get it. But, and of course, last week, man, I just want to go ahead and finish off with some high school football, man, because, man, there was some really good stuff last week. Texas finally finished all of its craziness, man. Texas goes all the way till Christmas Eve, basically. That's crazy. But finishing off, excuse me. I'm getting all excited over here. Excuse me. But Taryn, Texas. They finally finished it off, and here are the final, at least from the Max Prep standing. So Washington out of looks like what is that? Massillon, Ohio. Crazy. Well, they will finish 16-0. Actually, no. Yeah, they'll finish 16-0 as they finish at number 10 in the country. They won the OHSAA, their division, while they defeated Archbishop Hoban out of Akron 7-2. Crazy. And that was in the Division II Final Four. But they won that thing. And congratulations to them on winning that. They finished number 10 in the country. Of course, number 9, St. Thomas Aquinas, they will finish number 9. They will finish number 9 at 14-1, which, of course, we know they finished a couple weeks ago, their season. Overall, number 8, Duncanville. They will jump back up, man, because, this team, dude, we talked about this team. They would play North Shore. And Taryn, how about this, man? North Shore. Duncanville fell off, man. Duncanville fell off this year. They lost their, what did they lose? One game, I think. And they just fell off. They lost to DeSoto 49-35 earlier this year on the 28th of October in Taryn. They came back, though, in a fury. They defeated North Shore out of Houston 49-33 in AT&T Stadium, winning the UIL Conference 6A D1 championship, state championship there, knocking off North Shore, and Duncanville returns to the top 10, knocking North Shore out of the top 10. St. Joseph's Prep, they will finish at 13-1. Of course, their season just, they wrapped up a couple of weeks ago, so they will finish at number 7. St. John Bosco, Taryn, they finished at number 6 in the season. Of course, their season ended way back in November. They are 11-2. Of course, they finished up. DeSoto, wow, this team, man, they would finish up, of course, a few weeks ago in the UIL Texas State Championship. That was the 6AD2. Well, they defeated Summer Creek 74-14. DeSoto 15-0 record. They finished at number 5. And then, of course, we know already we've been talking about IMG Academy. They finished at number 4. They just play their 10 games. They're freelance. Modern Day finished at number 3, 13-1. California State champs. Chaminade Madonna, Florida State champs. They finished at 14-0 at number 2. And then, of course, the national champions Bishop Gorman at 12-0, winning this year the Max Preps National Championship. Taryn, any comments there on any of those top 10?
Well, I think it's pretty much the same, except I was very surprised that Duncanville was able to beat North Shore. And gotta give a big shout to Drewski, who I think was at the game and giving us updates on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
And I gotta really give a shout out to Duncanville. They really brought it. And there was something in the back of my mind that was making me think, maybe Duncanville can beat North Shore. And sure enough, they brought it to AT&T Stadium. So I'm kind of not surprised that Duncanville beat North Shore, but I'm not ultimately surprised.
That was crazy, Taryn. I didn't know. Yeah, Drewski was there. Huh? Good old Drewski, yep. Man. He was, Drewski's the man, I'm telling you. This dude is amazing. But yeah, what a great game. What good stuff there. And Taryn, just wow, what a great season of high school football. We closed the door on it, man. So, Taryn, we have talked. Division 3, and NJCAA Division 3 has been crowned. 3C2A. Well, that, of course, happy guy here, Riverside, has been crowned. NJCAA has been crowned. Division 3 has been crowned. Division 2 has been crowned. Well, Taryn, high school has now been crowned. NAIA has been crowned. And well, Taryn, now this is basically the FCS and, of course, the FBS. Well, we got some bowl games to pick. I know we're just basically up against the time right now. We've got a few minutes left here in our show. But, Taryn, I know you already started. We got one of your picks here. But Troy, Duke in the 76 Birmingham Bowl. They have here Troy favored by 6.5 points. It is currently 0-0 with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Who are you picking?
Well, I put in the chat room that Troy was going to be my pick. And the reason being is because Sun Belt, Fun Belt.
And you're smart for that. I don't know. I see it too. I'm taking Troy.
And they want the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, a chance, man. This team, I think Troy's definitely going to pull this thing off. So, next up, we have here Arkansas State taking on Northern Illinois in the Camilla Bowl. Arkansas State is favored by 2.5 points. It is currently 6-0 NIU in the first quarter with 8:31 to go. Who are you taking?
So I didn't really get a chance to ultimately preview this too much, but I will say I picked Arkansas State just because I think their offense is a little bit more high-flying, but I'm probably going to overall regret that pick. I hope that's not the case, but if it is what it is, then so be it.
Yeah, brother, I'm with you, man. This is definitely going to be a fun game here, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Northern Illinois.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Northern Illinois. So, all right, brother. So, okay, next up.
Did you pick Arkansas or, I'm sorry, Troy or Duke?
Yeah, I'm taking Troy.
Okay, got it.
Taking Troy.
Because some Trojans have to be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because some Trojans, thank you, Taryn, because some Trojans have to be good, and it sure as hell ain't the USC Trojans. So, all right, so next up, coming up later on today, we have the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. They have Air Force favored by 2 here in this game. James Madison 11-1, Air Force 8-4. Taryn, who are you taking?
I'm going to take James Madison. Obviously, Sun Belt, Fun Belt, but I think James Madison, in terms of the entire Sun Belt Conference, is the best team in the Sun Belt Conference. So.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I'm going to go James Madison too, man. This team was just freaking FCS not too long ago, and here they are now. They won a title in 2016. They made the jump. Looking at you, North Dakota State. Anyway, they made the jump, and they're looking good, so let's see what they do. But yeah, it's Aaron. Give me James Madison. Next up, 2 teams that are 6-6, barely bowl eligible, but they did it. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Hey, Georgia State taking on Utah State. Utah State's favored by 2.5. Who you got?
Oh, man. This one's a little tough. I'm going to take Georgia State. I'm going to roll with the Sun Belt.
Darren's all about the Sun Belt, Fun Belt. I love it, man. So yeah, I could see that. Georgia State definitely. I'm gonna go Georgia State too, man. I think they just have it. The Panthers. Let's see what they got. All right, next up we have here the 68 Ventures Bowl, and this is between South Alabama and East Michigan. Of course, both of these guys are 6-6, but East Michigan, of course, the alma mater of Max Crosby of the Raiders, because, one Raider has to be good on the whole team. Anyway, so they're favored by 17 and a half. Wow. South Alabama, which is crazy. Wow. Dang, that's lopsided. But all right, Aaron, well, who are you taking in this game?
Well, it's the MAC Conference versus the Sun Belt Conference. You already know I'm going with the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, Taryn, give me South Alabama for sure. They're favored by 17.5. I think they should know what they're talking about here. All right. Next up, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Utah 8-4. We know a thing or two about these guys playing in the Pac-12, and Northwestern at 7-5. They got Utah favored by 6.5 points. Taryn, who are you taking?
Man, this is tough. Unless Cam Rising is playing, which he has not done all season. I mean, Utah's a pretty solid rushing attack. You know what? Give me Northwestern. I'm going to take Northwestern. I'm going to go bold and say Northwestern.
Hey, watch them win it. They went through a lot of crap this year. I'm going to take Utah. But let's just see, man. Let's see if Northwestern gets this thing done. All right, there. Next up, we have Coastal Carolina taking on San Jose State. Both teams are 7-5 in the Easy Point Hawaii Bowl coming up later on today. They have, San Jose State favored by 8.5 points. Who are you taking?
Ugh.
That's a tough
Well,
one.
yeah, that is a tough one. It feels weird not seeing Hawaii in this bowl.
I know, right?
San Jose State San Jose State has had some good strides. You know what? Give me San Jose State.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the one time against the Sun Belt.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to take San Jose State. They just look better. So, okay. Then, of course, we have a lot, of course, this coming week. So, we're going to run through these pretty quick here. On Tuesday, the 26th bowl season picks back up. And we have the Quick Lane Bowl. Bowling Green at 7-5. Minnesota at 5-7. Minnesota is favored by 3.5.
Wait. Just got to finish up recording our... Bowling Green versus Minnesota. Oh golly!
Right?
Minnesota got in with a sub 500 record.
How did that happen? Right?
There must have been like an odd number of 500 plus teams, and then they must have just picked one team at random and said, "Oh, Minnesota, you're in." Well, I've always known Minnesota for having a stout defense. I hope that this is the case. Give me the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, I think so too. The Golden Gophers. Let's see if they win this thing. I think they're a little bit better than Bowling Green. So okay, Texas State at 7-5, taking on Rice, who is at 6-6 in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Of course, once again, this is Tuesday's games. This is Texas State is favored by 5.5 points. What do you think?
I'm going to take Texas State for this one.
Yeah, it's hard to not take them. Rice, the Owls, I don't know. I feel like they can totally win this game. But yeah, I guess to be safe, give me Texas State. All right, Taryn. Next up, final game on Tuesday. Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas at 8-4, taking on a very surprising UNLV 9-4 team. However, Kansas is still favored by 13 points. Who are you taking to this one?
That is going to be a good one. I think UNLV is much better than what most people give them credit for. It looks like Kansas has a better rushing attack. Yeah, I'll take the Jayhawks for this one.
Yeah, rock chalk, man. It's not that I don't want to pick or, want to see UNLV win one. I just think Kansas is the better team. So, okay. There we go. On to Wednesday. All right, Darren. We have the Military Bowl presented by GoBowling.com. Virginia Tech at 6-6. Tulane at 11-2. Virginia Tech, man, they're favored by 10.5 points. What do you think?
I don't see what's so special about Virginia Tech against Tulane. I'm going to take Tulane for this one.
We're on the same level today, Taryn. Look, Tulane smacked around USC last year, and I think Tulane's still that same football team, man. They got a lot going for them. I'm taking Tulane as well in this game. All right, next up, Duke's Mayo Bowl. North Carolina at 8-4, West Virginia at 8-4. West Virginia is favored by 6.5 points in this game.
See, the big thing is North Carolina, I don't think will have Drake May playing because I think he might be bound for the draft. Yeah. I think he's sitting out. So I think West Virginia is probably the safe pick.
Yes, they are. And I think that's the reason why they're favored, too. So, yeah, I'm going Mountaineers for sure in that game. And then, of course, we have here the oh boy, here we go.
Don't tell me.
Let's get this out of the way. DirecTV Holiday Bowl, yay! Number 16 Louisville, who's 10-3, and 7-5 USC, who just sucks. Louisville is favored by 7.5 points. And you know something? They're probably going to win by more than that. Give me freaking Louisville in this game. I'm sick of the Trojans this year. Take your quarterback, take your coach. We want another direction. At least I do. What do you think, Darren?
Well, I picked USC on SoCal, and you know what? I'm going to stay true with that, and I'm going to pick USC. I feel Louisville, they lost to Kentucky in their second to last game, and then they also lost to Florida State in the ACC championship. So something tells me that we might get some Miller Moss magic. So give me USC.
I love to pick them. It's just this year has been the biggest disappointment, and that defense is crap. So yeah, I've never picked against.
Exactly.
I've never ever picked against SC on this show ever, and I've had it. They're horrible. I have had it. I love my team. I hope they win, but yeah, okay. And then of course, Taryn, one more game, the Tax Act Texas Bowl, Texas A&M 7-5, number 20 Oklahoma State 9-4. Texas A&M is favored by 2 points. Who you got?
See, Texas A&M is such a tempting pick, but you gotta remember, Jimbo Fisher was fired midway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Oklahoma State also looks tempting as well. I'm gonna go Oklahoma State, actually.
Yeah, that's a safe one. I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. I think the Aggies rally. Give me Texas A&M. I don't know why, but I just feel like maybe they'll get this.
Got to remember that SEC as well. They've been battle tested.
Yes.
But I'm confident in Oklahoma State,
which is a fair argument. So on to Thursday, the 28th, we have number 24 SMU. That's the Drewski. At 11-2, taking on Boston College. That's our boy Mikey Two Guns. He's actually going to be at the game, which is pretty cool, in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Taryn, SMU, man, they're 11-2. Boston College 6-6. SMU is favored by 10 points.
As much as Boston College has the home field advantage. See what I did there? And, it's going to still be in Boston. I still got to roll with SMU. Got to go pony up.
Oh, yeah, we're going to pony up pretty big in this game. Give me SMU for sure. We have Rutgers at 6-6 taking on Miami at 7-5 in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Hey, if you got to have if you gotta have a Red Sox theme bowl, you gotta have a Yankees theme bowl on the same damn day, right? It's just, they hate each other that much. They get in the bowl games. Just kidding. But yes, Rutgers is favored by 1 point. Taryn, I asked you a very, 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 very difficult question earlier about the U. Do you think that they will win this game?
Oh man, against Rutgers, I mean, Miami has been they've been so up and down. They looked promising early on, and ever since that Georgia Tech loss, they just did not look like themselves. I'll take Rutgers. Give me Rutgers.
Which confirms that the U is not back. And Taryn, give me Rutgers as well, because the U is not back. All right, we have here the Pop-Tarts Bowl, featuring the very first ever edible mascot. Which is kind of weird, but okay, well, we're going to see. So, I remember seeing that on my ESPN updates on the ScoreCenter app. But number 18, NC State at 9-3, taking on number 25, Kansas State at 8-4. Kansas State is favored by 2.5 points. Who are you taking?
Oh, this one is also another tricky one. Kansas State. Yeah, I'll take Kansas State. I think that makes the better sense.
Yeah, this is a toughie, but man, I just feel like Kansas State will win this game. And then, of course, we have the Valero Alamo Bowl. This one's always a fun game to watch. Number 14, Arizona at 9-3, taking on number 12, Oklahoma at 10-2. Arizona is favored by 2.5 over Oklahoma. That's a bold one there, Taryn. Kind of crazy, but yeah, I'm going to take Arizona in this game.
I really want to pick Arizona. I like Noah Fafita. Tadaro McMillan is so amazing. He's a freak of an athlete, former volleyball player as well, back at Servite High School. But I got to go with Oklahoma, unfortunately.
I think, yeah, that's a good pick. It's a good pick. But yeah, man, this should be a fun game. And then, of course, on to Friday. As you guys know, we stop here because, well, on Saturday we'll be on for next week, so we'll get those picks in, starting with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, of course. But yeah, so Friday we got 4 more games to pick. Darren, December 29th, next week, number 22, Clemson at 8-4, taking on 7-5 Kentucky in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Clemson is favored by 4.5.
You know what? I'm going to go with Big Blue on this one, and I'm going to take Kentucky.
What? Those Wildcats, now watch them win this game. That'd be crazy. I'm going to take Clemson, be safe here, but dude, if Kentucky wins this thing, that'd be crazy. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Hey, number 19, Oregon State at 8-4, taking on number 16, Notre Dame at 9-3. Boy, Notre Dame was promising this year. They were promising, but they fell short. They are favored, though, in this game by 6.5. Who are you taking?
See, Oregon State has a lot of quarterback uncertainty because they had DJ Uiagalelei, the former Clemson and St. John Bosco quarterback, starting, and then they went to Aiden Childs, and I think Aiden Childs entered the transfer portal. I'm just going to take Notre Dame just to be safe. I promise you, if Notre Dame loses this one, I don't know what to say. They'll have lost to a team that will not have a conference next year. That will not be in a conference next year.
That's crazy.
But maybe they'll play the next year in independent.
Well, hey, Notre Dame don't have a conference, so just kidding. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame for sure that game. AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Memphis at 9-3, taking on Iowa State at 7-5. Iowa State is favored by 10 here. That's safe. I think the Cyclones will win this game. Who do you got, Darren?
Iowa State. You picked Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, well.
That's a tough one, I know. But I guess, I don't know, my gut's saying Iowa. Yeah, even though I love Memphis and the really cool uniforms.
Yeah, I was about to say. But Iowa State has been, they just seem more battle tested because they beat Kansas State. They also played Texas really tough. They also played Kansas tough. They got smacked by Oklahoma. And they gave up 20 to Iowa. Oof. And who's Memphis really beaten?
Yeah.
Nobody ultimately special. So, yeah, it makes more sense to pick Iowa State.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree, man. Iowa State, I think they're going to win this game. And then, Taryn, finally, one more game, man. And this is where the rankings really start to kick in. We got a top 10 matchup here. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic next Friday. This should be a fun one. Number 9, Mizzou at 10-2, taking on number 7, Ohio State at 11-1. Taryn, Ohio State's only favored by 1 point in this game. This should be a damn battle. Who are you taking?
I mean, Missouri. If there's one team that has drastically improved, it's Missouri, and I don't think anyone predicted Missouri's rise to fame, and they only have 2 losses. One to Georgia, which obviously was number 2 at the time, but they gave it their all in that game. And then they lost to LSU, which was the Battle of the Tigers. Then you got Ohio State. Their only loss was to Michigan. So, this was a tough one. Missouri also has a pretty good running back too, as opposed to Ohio State. I mean, both, but Ohio State might not have Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm taking Missouri with this one.
Oh, check that out! Darren is going bold here. Oh yeah, you got the sound effect, Darren. Dun dun dun. Yeah. That's bold, Taryn. I don't think it's a bad pick at all. I think Mizzou can totally win this game. However, I'm going with Ohio State. OHIO. I'm taking these guys. I think they're gonna win it, but damn it, that's gonna be a fun football game next week. And well, Taryn, that is our time, good sir. Cue the music, because we're up out of here. But Taryn, oh my gosh, man, what a fun bowl season this has been so far. By the way, Duke is leading Troy now 8-0 with 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And Northern Illinois is leading. Actually, Arkansas State is leading Illinois 7-6 with 2:35 to go in the first quarter. So, fun stuff. Taryn, that was a fun show as always, brother. Glad to have you a part of this, man. anything you want to talk about. Once again, anything high school, college related, as we always do at the end, you want to bring up before we're out of here?
I don't think I don't think I have anything.
You know what? That's okay. Because I just gotta say, go Tigers! That's right, Riverside, baby! I don't care. I'm riding the high terror. That was weeks ago. I don't give a crap. That was 2 weeks ago today, and I'm still riding the wave. I don't care. Anyway. With that said, y'all, big ups and thank you to everybody, man. We are so excited for so many great things coming up here at IE Sports Radio. We thank you guys so very much for being a part of this thing, man. It has been so much fun. And thank you for putting up with us this morning, for putting up with me when we're going on an hour later, getting the internet all fixed up and everything. But you know, that's always fun. But Darren, any last words for our listeners out there this week?
Thank you to the internet for not crashing.
Yes, thank you to the internet for not crashing. Yes. Well, there you go, guys. Coming up today, you got Celia and I making up for last night with the Sports Cup perspectives coming up in a few hours. We'll get a time for that soon. And then, of course, coming up later today, Palm Tree Sports with our boy, Mr. Corey Pujols. But with that said, you guys, that is that. PlanetJerky.net. Go get you some jerky. Follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Let them know you heard this ad. Enter the raffle to win 2 free bags of jerky. Check us out all over the place where you get your podcasts. On X, of course, check us out at 3 and Out, all spelled out. CEIE. For Taryn, for me, your boy Larry B. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.
Peace.